In this video, I'm going to show you how I use the Clover pom-pom maker to create these fun pom-poms. This is my favorite way to make pom-poms because this little tool really helps to create a nicely shaped pom-pom, and it's really easy to use too. I got the multi-pack, which has all 4 of these sizes. In the demo, I'm going to be using the green one, which is kind of the medium size, and it creates a pom-pom like these. Here are the 4 different sizes that the Clover pom-pom makers create, from the large, then the medium, the small, and then the extra small. The other tool that you're going to need is a sharp pair of scissors. I have one right here. And you'll need some yarn. This is a worsted weight wool from Pearl Soho that I'm using, but any stash yarn that you have, scrap yarn is great for this type of project. I tend to prefer using worsted or bulky weight in either a wool or superwash or a blend, but any type of yarn that you might have laying around, give it a try and see what you like. So to get started, you're going to take your Clover pom-pom maker and you're going to open up one of the arms. Now both sides of it. So there's always a front and a back. These are always going to be together. To get started, I like to hold the center part of the maker in my left hand like this, and so that the arm is coming this direction. I just find it easier to wrap the yarn this way. Then I'm going to take my yarn and I'm just going to start wrapping it around both of these sides arms here, just like this. As you can see, it's going around both sides of the arm. Now I'm just going to go back and forth from one end of this U shape to the other. And I wouldn't worry about that little tail from when I joined the yarn. That'll just get all wrapped up in this. I always like to make sure to go all the way up to the end on one side, and then I'm going to come all the way back to the other end. I find that the key with a nicely shaped pom-pom is to really overstuff this. So I will go back and forth many, many times. You'll see after I'm done wrapping this exactly what it will look like. But I tend to go as much as I can go, as much as will fit kind of under these arms. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how stuffed this is. And you can see the yarn comes all the way up to the edge over here. And that's usually how I decide whether or not I'm done wrapping it. So then what you're going to do is you're going to close it like that. And then you want to do the same thing on this side. So you're going to open up these. Now you can either cut the yarn here and rejoin and do exactly like we did for the other side, or I find that it works fine to just kind of bring the yarn over from this side. When we're cutting it later, you're just going to trim that connection point there, but either way works. So I'm just going to start wrapping on this side in the exact same manner as I had done the other side. Okay, I am pretty happy with how it looks on this side. It looks as stuffed as the other side. So then I'm going to go ahead and close it. I'm going to take my scissors. I'm just going to trim that. And then we're going to be cutting. So keeping both of these arms, making sure that those are closed, I'm going to hold it in one hand, and then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to be cutting, starting here and going all the way to the other side, like this. Now the key with this is to have a pair of really nice sharp scissors. This can make all the difference. And make sure that when you're holding this that you're keeping those arms down. Okay, then once that side is trimmed, I'm just going to turn it over. Again, making sure that everything stays down, that these arms don't pop up. And do the same thing on this side. As you can see, you sort of had this groove that you're cutting right above. I'll just sort of make sure I don't have any other strands. Now here is that connection between the sides. I'm just going to go ahead and trim that right there. Okay, now I'm just going to put this down for just a second. Now I want to cut a long piece here. Now this is how we're going to cinch it all up. So what you want to do is you're going to take your long piece that you just cut, and the center of it you want to put in the groove. I'm going to flip this up for a second so you could see. So it's going to go right in there. And then I'm going to tie it and cinch it. So again, I want to make sure it's cinched in the groove here and pull tight. Okay, then I'm going to do it again on the other side. So just turn it this way, pull the yarn up, tie it, and cinch again. Then I'm going to turn it. I'm going to do it 2 more times. So this, again, the key is nice and tight. That's why I like using a wool or superwash, a yarn that's going to be nice and tight. And one more time. And there we go. All right. You can see a little loop kind of came up there. I'm just going to trim that like that. Okay, so now you can take it apart. So take one side of the arm and lift it up, and then take the other and lift it this way, and then you separate it just like this. And there we go, we have our pom-pom. So now the next step is it just needs a little bit of a haircut. So you just want to start trimming any area that you see that's a different size than all the others. And from personal experience, less is more. Sometimes I've gone a little crazy and all of a sudden the pom-pom gets a little bit too small because I've gone a little crazy with the trimming. So start with just a little bit. Now, if you are going to be attaching your pom-pom to a hat, or if you're going to be hanging them, in your house for decor, then you want to keep these ends here because those are going to be used then to attach it. If you're just going to be, let's say, putting them in a bowl, for some little home decor, then you can trim those up just like that. And you can trim a little bit more if you'd like, but I tend to find I like to just sort of fluff it like this, see how it looks. And I'm pretty happy with that. So that is how you use the Clover pom-pom maker to make pom-poms.